guys, it's Sarah, and today this video is going to be a discussion. And this was probably the most requested video that I saw when I asked you guys for suggestions because I was not having a whole lot of ideas. And this was requested over and over again. I was like, okay, I need to do this. Basically, you guys want to know a little bit more about my job and what it's like working at Barnes & Noble, because I am a bookseller at Barnes & Noble. And I thought about it for a couple of days and I was like, I could definitely do this. I thought, could I film like in the store? But I didn't want to do that. And here's the reason why. I don't own Barnes & Noble. This is not my company. I just work for them. So I don't feel like it's my place to be filming in the store. And I know I can't include customers or anything like that. So I didn't want to go that far. But I can talk about, working there and what it's like and what a typical day is, how we handle certain things. I can talk about that kind of stuff, some opportunities I've had because of my job. So that's very easy for me to do. So we're going to do that today. Okay. So typical shift. I work part-time as a bookseller. So I work anywhere between like 20, 25 hours a week. Typically, I think 25, 26 would be a good week for me. I usually work 3 to 4 days a week. And I will go into work whenever it's time for me to go into work. I will clock in. I will check the daily schedule and see where I am assigned. So I'm either on the selling floor, so like customer service, on the floor doing stuff around the store, or I'm at the cash registers. We all kind of take turns up at the cash register. So sometimes I'll be there for an hour. Sometimes I'll be there for 2 hours at a time. Just depends on, we kind of divvy out all the stuff. And sometimes I'm in the cafe. That happens. I am trained to work in the cafe, so I know how to make a mean latte, let me tell you. So basically, a lot of the booksellers are trained in the cafe as well. That way we can cover lunches, breaks. If someone calls out and we need some coverage over there, if they need backup because they're getting busy, I can pop back there and I can help out for a couple of minutes if I need to. So that's something that I do, not super, super often, but sometimes. And yeah, so that's a thing about the job that I wasn't expecting when I was hired, but it's fine. It's totally fine. It doesn't bother me at all. And yeah, so I will just look at the schedule, see where I'm supposed to be at what time, because we are kind of responsible ourselves for taking our breaks on time, taking our lunches on time. We don't have people saying, make sure you go do this, make sure you take your 30, make sure you do this. Like, we have to do it ourselves and say, hey, it's time for my break. Can I go ahead and go? And they're like, yes, go ahead. So that's something that we ourselves are responsible for. And so I just see where I am and I go and make sure I am where I'm supposed to be at any given time. So if I'm at the registers, I'm at the registers. There are things to do back there. We have a lot of merchandise back there that, needs to stay straightened and cleaned and filled. And, we kind of straighten up around the displays around the areas and all that kind of stuff. I am partly in charge of what is merchandise back there as well. Me and someone else have partnered up to kind of be in charge of that area. So we're the ones who kind of make decisions on where things are going to go and what needs to come out and what needs to stay and making sure things are filled and stuff like that. So that's been kind of fun. And then if I'm on the floor, I'm at the customer service desk first and foremost, because the customers always, always, always take priority over everything else in the store, because obviously we would not have a store if we didn't have customers. So we are making sure that, they're being helped. And when people have questions, we help them. Mostly it's, do you have this book? And we look it up on our system and all that stuff. Sometimes people come in and just want recommendations, which is always fun because we can kind of get a feel for what they like. And then we will take them around and kind of maybe suggest some stuff. If they're looking for something I'm not super familiar with, sometimes I'll pass them off to somebody else who is more familiar with that area or that topic or that, content. So that has happened quite a bit as well. And then we will also, in our downtime, when we don't have customers that we're helping, we are shelving books. So we have these carts that we pull out onto the floor that are stacked with books. And then we scan them, figure out where they're located, and then put them into those sections and fill it in. Yeah, that's basically what it is. And then, there are times where we have certain projects that are happening where we're shifting some displays around because, we're getting new books and they need to be put on the tables. Or we have a whole bunch of this book, so let's see where we can merchandise this better. Instead of just putting it in the section, we'll put it on a table instead. So what can we switch out? What hasn't been selling well, even though it's sitting right here? Let's go ahead and move this back. And so those are more senior decisions than my personal stuff, but I will get assigned to things like that sometimes. So, they'll just tell me what to do and I'll do it. That actually happened the other night. I moved around quite a few tables. They already knew what they wanted to move around and they just had me execute it. But it's nice that my boss was like, I trust you to do this and to make it look good. So here's what we're doing. So go and just make sure it looks good. I'm like, okay, cool. And then she'll let me make some decisions as well sometimes about what's on the tables. So that's nice. I have also done a few end caps. So end caps are like a display on the edges of the shelves, like on the ends of the shelving units. I've done a few displays, basically being told what the topic is, and then I can pick the books and I can kind of decide how they're laid out and stuff. So I've done that a few times. That's always fun. So, yeah. And those change, seasonally, definitely seasonally. If we have a holiday coming up, we'll do like a holiday, whatever that holiday is, display and stuff. And yeah. And then obviously when new books come in, we have to put them out and we have to switch some things around. That happens weekly because books come out every week. And then when we get the new big releases, usually we have tables of them because people are excited and we want to have them, front and center so that people can come in, find it really quickly, and be on their way. So that usually happens as well. So, deciding on where to put things is not necessarily my job, but I usually put the things where people have decided they're going to go. So I haven't gotten to the point where I'm making those decisions. So, but yeah, so that's how that kind of works. I am also the person in the store who is in charge of the Harry Potter section. That was offered to me a few months ago and I jumped on it, obviously, because you guys know how much I love Harry Potter. And my boss approached me and she said, "You like Harry Potter?" I said, "Yes, I do." And she said, "You want to take over like the Harry Potter section and kind of be in charge of it?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." You don't even have to ask me. Just tell me this is what I'm doing and I'll be happy. But basically we rebranded it and that was a company decision. Company said, let's completely revamp Harry Potter and, kind of make it look, they were going for making it look like you were walking into the Harry Potter store in New York or the Harry Potter studios in London. Like that was kind of the feel that they were wanting to go for. They wanted people to walk in and just kind of feel the magic when they see the Harry Potter displays. So it was a whole revamp project and I got to do that, which was a lot of fun. I did take direction from the company, but we also had to make decisions based on our space that we had available and the type of fixtures that we had available. So I did have to change a few things, but it was just because of our specific area that we had and every store is different. So, but I ended up being really proud of it. And it's still going pretty strong. I am responsible for keeping it maintained and for keeping it clean and making sure that when we get new product, it gets put out. And, so anything Harry Potter is in like a specific section in our stock room. So I can go to there and say, okay, oh, this is new. This just came in. Let me get this out on the floor. I'm the only one doing that. But that's been a lot of fun. And it's something that I have to consciously go into work every week and make some time to make sure that I'm over there and that I'm cleaning it up. And that's always when I'm on the floor at some point. I can say, I'm going to go spend 10 minutes in Harry Potter and just clean it up. And they're like, okay. And then I can see what's come in, put anything out that I need to, rearrange anything that I need to. So that's been a lot of fun. And everyone seems happy with the way that I've been doing it and keeping it up. So yeah, that's something that I've been really, really enjoying. I have also worked a special event. So I was the one in charge of the midnight release for Iron Flame. We had a midnight release party at the store and we were a few of us were begging our boss to let us do that, like do the event as a whole, because not every store got to do it. We had to submit whether or not we wanted to, and then you got approval for it. And so before she put in to do it, she a bunch of us were asking her, and then I went and asked her, and she said, "Do you want to head it up if we get approved?" And I was like, "Okay." So she's like, "Okay, I'll put it in." And she did, and we got approved, and I was the lead person in that. Now, I did partner up with someone else. It wasn't just me. I did partner up with one of the other managers, and it went really well. Like I was actually really proud of the way that it went. Everyone seemed to have a good time. It was a lot of planning as far as, we got swag bags from the publisher, so we had to put those together. We had to take reservations, and we had to make sure those were all straight and ready to go, and nothing was overlapping, and everyone was accounted for. We had enough books for everybody. We had to make sure we had activities going on. We came up with activities. The publisher did provide some supplies for certain activities. We didn't use all of them, but we did a few things, and then we came up with some ourselves and provided stuff for that. So we had to plan all that out and make sure it kind of went off without a hitch. And the registers was a big thing because we wanted to make sure that people were lined up safely, and that it was easy for people to have their reservations fulfilled. And then we had extras, obviously. So we came up with a system. A couple of us came up with a system to make it go really, really smoothly. And it really did. We had a line that went to the back of the store at midnight. We could not sell it until 12:01. Not even 12:01. We did a countdown. It was so much fun. And then the line was to the back of the store, like through the store to the back. And we had everybody out by 12:30. Like it went really smooth and really fast. And we got a lot of compliments, and it was a lot of fun. So I took some pride into that. Mm-hmm. Got a lot of really good feedback on it. So that was fun. And so that was a really great opportunity. And I have also gotten the chance to meet a few authors because of my job. One of them was actually Rebecca Yarros. I got to meet her. I did meet her at Comic-Con as well because I went to her event there and got my, book signed, but we couldn't have much of a conversation because it was Comic-Con. They were trying to get through as many people as possible. So it was more like, "Hi, I love you, man, thank you." And that was it. But I got to actually meet her and have a conversation with her when she did a release party at not our store, but a different store in our area, to the point where I was able to go and be part of the crew that helped, because it was a big event. It was ticketed, all the things. It was the night of the release. And she was just there signing the books and stuff, but they needed extra help from other booksellers. And I was one of the few that got asked to, that was like, "Do you want to go work this?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." So I was very happy about that. And got to meet her, and she signed all my books, and she's so nice, you guys. I can't even describe her enough of how nice she is. She really, really is. And, so she signed all the booksellers' books beforehand. And then afterwards we got to take pictures with her and stuff. And she's just so lovely. So that was exciting. And I was part of, checking people in. So when they were coming in, I was scanning their tickets, and we were giving them swag and their books and all that stuff. So I was at the kind of front table greeting people when they came in for the event. So that went really well. And then I was able to meet TJ Klune. He came in and signed our stock for us. He just signed all the books that we had of his in our store. And that was it. It wasn't like an event. He wasn't talking to readers. It was just us. He came into our back stock room and or not our stock room. He came into our break room and just sat there and signed books and chit-chatted with us. He's the coolest, let me tell you. He was so nice and so kind. He was actually on his way to the airport to go to London for a little book tour over there. And he stopped in and signed our stock for us. And it was just so nice. So got to meet him, and then also got to meet V.E. Schwab. And she was incredible because she was going to come into our store and do the same thing that TJ Klune did. She was going to come in and sign our stock because she was doing an event for the Threads of Power that had just come out, and she was doing an event in Arlington, which is right over next to us. So she was going to come in and do that. However, something happened with her schedule, and she wasn't going to have enough time to come into our store to do that. So her assistant like called us and said, if there's any way you could bring the books to us, she will sign them. And we were like, okay. So me and another girl, luckily I was working that day because me and another girl boxed up all of her books that we had in the store and took them to the hotel where she was doing her event. And before her event, she signed every single one for us and talked to us and took pictures with us and like thanked us for bringing them because she felt so bad that she didn't have the time to get over there. Like, it was incredible. It was incredible. Just the fact that she took the time to do that. She didn't have to. They could have been like, sorry, we don't have time. Bye. But they made it work. And it really meant a lot to us. So yeah, it was great. It was great. So, and then we've had random authors stop into the store to sign their books that we have in stock. And that is a lot of fun, like just randomly. Some of them are local. Some of them are just in town doing stuff. I will say the authors that have done that are not authors I've heard of, and I have not read their books. So I'll say that, but it's nice to at least chit chat with them for a little bit and they sit there and sign them at the desk and all that. So that's pretty cool. And then I get to put little signed edition stickers on them and put them out and stuff. So yeah, but definitely amazing opportunities to meet some of my favorite authors like V.E. Schwab and T.J. Klune and Rebecca Yarros are like favorites of mine. And I got to actually like meet them and make eye contact and have conversations back and forth. And it was amazing. So yeah, definitely amazing opportunities for that. And I'm forever grateful for my job to allow me to have those experiences. So that's what it's like to be a bookseller. Definitely fun special events. And one of my favorite things is changing around displays and making new things and, picking new books to put out and display and keeping up on trends, I would say. And for the Grammys that just happened, Taylor Swift won the Grammy. So we put her album front and center at the customer service desk and kind of labeled it, and it's been selling again. So, just kind of stuff like that, paying attention to what's happening and, putting some things front and center when we need to. I'm also in charge of the Instagram account for our store. That's going okay. I'm not the strongest on Instagram, but we do have direction as well from the company as far as social media goes. So I'm not completely by myself. And I do have another girl who occasionally will post some stuff too. If I'm not available or something needs to go up really quickly, she helps out too. So that's nice. But most of the Instagram posts that are up there are done by me for the most part. So I need to be a little bit better about that though. So I can let it get away from me. So something to work on, definitely. But I'll leave the account down below if you're interested in seeing it. So I've definitely gotten some responsibilities over the past year and a couple months that I've been there, and it's been a lot of fun. And I'm making some of these people that I work with are just my favorite. And I do still have aspirations to be a librarian. I will wait until we get to our next station, our next duty station, to start working on that for sure. But for now, I'm really, really enjoying my job. I really enjoy the people I work with. I love my boss, and it's just a great place to be. So I definitely get excited to go to work, and that's a big thing. So, all right. Well, that is a little bit of detail on what it's like to work at Barnes & Noble. I absolutely love it. I think it's a great place. I think it's a great company, and I genuinely enjoy my time there. So yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know, and I will see you guys again soon. Okay, bye.